So this week I'm going to show you how to make another Valentine themed card. It's actually just love themed, so you could use it for Valentine's. It's also appropriate for wedding, anniversary, or even just a hello card. This is using the brand new gold Color Me card toppers, and this is the hearts set. There's also a roses set and another set which I can't remember. I think it's ferns. But the each set comes with 8 pieces, so you're getting 2 each of 3 designs. 1, 2, and this is the one I'm using. And you're also getting a couple sheets of labels. So these are already filled in with things like thinking of you, get well soon, a loving hello, happy birthday, thank you, just because. And then these are left blank so that you can fill in your own greetings or put a personalized name on there. And they also have a couple of extra hearts on here too to add a little matching touch to your cards. Well, let's get into the project. So I'm starting with my blank white card and my gold Color Me. The Color Me card toppers are perfectly sized to go on these cards, so they're about 6.5 by 5. So the first thing I'm going to do is actually glue my suede paper onto my card. So I have 2 pieces of, this is called Azalea, it's a really pretty pink suede paper, and then 1 piece of burgundy. The strips on the side are 3/4 of an inch wide by a little over 6.5 long, and the middle piece is 3.5 inches wide. So I'm going to glue them on the card just like that, and you'll see why in a second. Once I have all my strips glued on here, I'm going to turn my card over and take my ruler and my penknife here and just trim off any excess. There isn't much, but it's so easy to do this. One swipe and you're done. And there's a tiny bit on the other side. And even if you slice off a tiny bit of your card, it won't matter since it'll still all be lined up. Alright, next step. The first thing I'm going to do with my gold card topper is actually to cut out this inner heart with all the dots on it. And that's so that I can let the burgundy suede paper show through. So I'm actually just going to use my penknife, and I'm going to go along this line right here. And just very carefully. Now, if you want, you can use your knife to just start the cut, and then you can use your small scissors or craft scissors, whatever you're comfortable with, and then complete the rest of the cut. But I do want to leave my heart intact so that I can put it on the inside of my card. So I'm going to just complete the cut with the knife. Alright, so now I've got a clean edged heart and a heart-shaped hole. Next step I'm going to do is to cut along the scalloped edge of both this side and the other side so that I have that nice scallop shape. Alright, now that I'm done with that, let's place it on our card and get a little preview. It's looking good so far. Alright, so now I'm actually going to color in my Color Me with some ink. So before I use my ink pad, I'm actually going to mask off the large heart with some stencil tape, which I cut at an angle. I'm just going to place it just along there. And another piece on the other side. Let me see here. Okay, and that's just to keep the ink off of these edges. Then a couple more pieces for the straight edge on either side. And stencil tape is really nice to use because it's not too sticky. It won't ruin your paper when you peel it off. It's simply for masking. So now this is a piece of scratch paper. I'm going to place that underneath. Take my cosmetic sponge and my maroon ink pad and color in just by dabbing on my ink. And this is exactly how I did the very first episode with the Christmas Color Me paper. The Color Me is really fun because you can choose any color of ink you want. You can spray it, you can color it in with Spectrum Noir markers. There's lots of different options. Now after I do this, I'm also going to mask off the top of the heart and fill this part in with the same color. So I've inked up both sections, and now I'm going to take my clean paper towel and just wipe off any excess ink that's sitting on top of the gold design to really let that gold shine through. You can see I've gotten a little bit on my paper towel. And then I'm going to remove my stencil tape and do the last of the coloring. So I've peeled off all of my masking tape or my stencil tape, and now I want to go in and color these small hearts. And I've actually got a fine tipped paintbrush here. I'm going to open my ink pad again. I'm just going to dab my paintbrush onto my ink pad and use that kind of as a paint palette and just go in and color in those tiny details. You can also try to use one of those sharp Q-tips or even masking off the sides of the heart, but I found this to be an easy way to get that ink from an ink pad onto small details. Now when you're cleaning off the excess, you want to make sure to just dab the heart with the clean paper towel. Don't smear it because that'll get ink into areas that you don't want. Sometimes I press and just twist a little bit and that gets most of it off. And I do it right away after I've colored the heart, so that seems to work pretty well. So now I'm going to color my inner heart with, this is called Pink Pastel. And it looks a little bit different on the ink pad than it does when you color it. So I'm going to take my cosmetic sponge, and this is significantly easier since I'm just doing one color. It'll be quite fast to cover the whole thing. And this is for the inside of the card, and it'll complement the outside quite nicely. And this color of ink matches the pink suede paper pretty well, so I was pretty happy about that. Alright, next step. Now I'm finally ready to glue this piece onto my card. So I'm going to place it over my scrap paper and apply my glue stick a little more liberally because I want it to stick to that velvety, soft, textured suede paper and not come off. So alright, so just center it right in the middle. And you can kind of tell by these edges if there's the same amount of space between this piece and the card edge. Looks pretty good to me. I'll just press that down and once again trim off the excess. I love this little knife because it's so easy to just retract. Okay, now I'm going to color this label using both my paintbrush technique. So I'm going to color in the edges with maroon, and then I'm going to color in the banner itself with the pink pastel using my stencil tape to mask off the straight edges. Alright, so I've cut out my little greeting and I've applied foam tape to the back. So I'm going to peel off the backing of that, and I'm just going to place it about right here. And then I'm going to add some gold nail heads. I love little details like this because they're so simple to use. And I've used something similar to this in another one of my episodes. I've used the gold pearls. The nail heads are actually a little bit flatter, so they don't have as much bulk if you're trying to send it in the mail. I'm going to actually slice right here. So I've got 4 nail heads in a row, and they come off all in one strip, which is handy. And I'm actually going to turn my card so I can see a little better. I'm going to place them just along there. Okay, so looking good so far. Now I want to add my bow to the bottom right corner of the greeting. So I'm using a 3/8 inch wide satin burgundy ribbon from the Sugar Plum ribbon collection. These are all the same width and they're all pretty shiny satin, which I love. And in case you missed my little bow tying demo in the last one, 2 loops and cross them over each other. Then put the loop through the hole and kind of finagle the ends until you get the right size. Can be a little tricky. And I always do this at the end of a longer piece so that I don't waste any ribbon in the process. Now, if you look closely, you'll notice that this side is actually the dull side, and it's the only part besides the very center that isn't that satiny, shiny finish. So I'm actually gonna twist once and kind of tighten it so that the satin side will be showing on all 4 ends. So that's how I make one-sided ribbon show on the full bow. Now I wanted to actually bring in this Imaginis, it's called a Magicut ribbon cutter, and it's battery powered, so it takes 4 AA batteries. And make sure you replace the batteries if it's not cutting well. But I find that this is really helpful in terms of making sure your ends don't fray on your bows. So turn it on and you'll see that red light come on, and you'll only see it come on when the cutter is hot. So if you look inside, there's this wire here, and there's a heating element in there that heats the wire that melts your ribbon. And it only takes a few seconds. So in the center, there's actually a plastic line here, a little ridge, and I'm gonna line up my bow so that the end of the bow is in the center, and I'm gonna close, wait a couple seconds, press the button, release, and magically my ends have been melted and my ends of the bow will not fray. So that is the magic of this little ribbon cutter. I've used it for a lot of different ribbons. Just make sure that your ribbons are like a nylon or a polyester, not cotton or twill, because it only cuts through meltable ribbons. And but it works really well on those. So now I'm gonna zot that ribbon right about here. And there we go. Alright, so the outside of the card is pretty much done. Now for the inside. The inside's going to be really simple. I've cut a piece of the burgundy suede paper. I'll give you the dimensions here. It's about 2 inches by the width of the card, so a little less than 5 inches. I'm gonna glue it down with about a 1/16 inch space before the fold here, because when you put it butted right up against that crease, it kind of hinders the card from closing all the way. So I'm gonna glue that down. And right about there. Trim off my excess, of course. And this time I'm just gonna use scissors just because it's a really short piece. Okay, now I'm gonna glue down my heart. I'm gonna place the heart right about there, kind of in the upper left corner. And lastly, I'm gonna tie another small bow, this time with white satin ribbon, and I'm gonna zot it on. So right about there. And perfect. Okay, so now we're finished with the With Love card. And looks like we did pretty well. So I hope you enjoyed this episode of Simply Anne. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to click on the bundle if you're looking at my blog. You're getting a great deal of savings. I just wanted to show you really quick what's in the bundle. So first of all, you're getting those gold Color Me Heart card toppers, and we're giving you the Roses card toppers. So I just wanted to show you those designs. They're very elegant and very versatile. Can't really go wrong with roses. There's that design and the greetings and the blanks. And I'm also giving you the suede papers that I used on this project, the burgundy and the pretty azalea. Love just rubbing those because they're so velvety. You'll be getting a full sheet of these, not like the used ones I've got. And you're getting the gold nail heads. And you're also getting the satin ribbon set, and this is the Sugar Plum set. It actually goes with the Sugar Plum Artful card kit that Hot Off the Press manufactures. But the colors look really nice together and are really lovely for these papers. And one other thing, you're getting a bonus little sheet here of holographic red ripple paper. Now the red is really great for Valentines and hearts, but you can also use it in just tiny strips on your cards, and since they're so metallic and shiny, these will really make your cards and projects pop. And I did want to mention that this is a pretty thick cardstock, so it's nice and hefty for your projects. Again, thanks for watching, and join me again next week for another great project. See you later.